निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणी श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gaurani Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Guru Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivekacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivekacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथ मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी की जय तुलसी महारानी की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्री श्री किशोर किशोरी की जय श्री गौर निताय की जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मान की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ऑल ग्लोरीज assembled all glorious assembled devotees all grace to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
I'm wondering what if I forget. Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Parada Rada Dayine. Parada Rada Dayine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Silatan Kana Kalaye. Silatan Kana Kalaye. Ito Nasinhao Parato Nasinhao. Ito Nasinhao Parato Nasinhao. Yato Yato Yamita To Nasinhao. Lahir Nasinhao, Hridaye Nasinhao, Hridaye Nasinhao, Nasinhamadin Sharanam Prapade, Nasinhamadin Sharanam Prapade, Kavakaya Kamaravale Naka Aduta Shingam Dalitam Hiranyakashipu Tanuvingam Keshavadita Jaya Hari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Naya Hari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nasinhadev, Jaya Nasinhadev, Jaya Nasinhadev, Jaya Nasinhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank you all very much for coming this evening to the home of Sri Sri Kishore Kishori. On behalf of Srila Prabhupada, welcome to the Sunday Feast program. It's a very special conclusion to what was an exciting festival here at ISKCON Chicago. So a few quick announcements before we continue on with the next part of our program. First, a big welcome and thank you especially to all of the visitors and guests from out of town. So we hope that you have a fantastic Sunday Feast experience. Welcome and welcome back in advance. Next is a reminder that in a couple of weeks we will be having our next bhajan night. So we will be having forms of musical meditation. It's the first Saturday of every month. From 6 until 8 p.m. That's the first Saturday of every month from 6 to 8 p.m. If you would like to find out how to get more involved, please see me, or if you can catch her, our temple president, Himangi Mataji. And finally, I would like to turn it over to tonight's speaker and special guest, His Holiness Romapada Swami. Tonight, the title of the lecture is The Hunter and the Cobra. So a little bit about that. So some of us are familiar with the 2019 theme. How many of us know the ISKCON Chicago theme for 2019? Okay, some of us, not all of us. So this year's theme is Be a Hero. And so for the month of January, every month we're highlighting different heroes from Srimad Bhagavatam. There's obviously more than 12 heroes in Srimad Bhagavatam, but 12 were selected, and the January hero is Narada Muni. And so the idea is, by carefully hearing and studying about these different personalities, meditating on these different personalities, we can start to gradually imbibe their qualities to be hero-like by the end of this year, if not sooner. So I will turn it over to Romapada Swami, who will be telling us about Narada Muni and the hunter and the cobra. Hare Krishna. And then just a request also, if everybody could please come forward. It will get a lot more crowded as the evening progresses. So please come forward. Thank you so much.
Who's our friends in the back with the camera there? Howdy.
Yes, up? So we have a film...
Why don't you introduce them? They look like they're really important people.
Yes, I'm sorry. So we have a film crew that is here as part of one of their stops in their exploration of the relationship between people and animals, and through a series of different fortunate events they found out about ISKCON Chicago, and we're curious about that perspective within the Vedic paradigm. So this is part of their continuation in that exploration as a creative endeavor, just to kind of see where this exploration, this road takes them. Is that okay? Would you like to say a few words?
Are you doing an independent project, or it's connected with something, or you're like kind of like freelance people that do stuff that inspires you, and you find people that want it?
That's correct. Well,
okay.
Thank you so much.
That's a nice topic.
Yes.
Thank you.
You'd probably keep you busy for a few years.
Yeah.
Well, our subject this evening happens to fit what you're interested in.
Wonderful.
No surprise. You can thank him. Ed knows what's going on here. Okay. So particularly for the benefit of our out-of-time devotees, when I heard the theme, I kind of felt uncomfortable. until I heard him explain what the theme meant. But you didn't just say it to them the way that you said it to me, so I'll try to say it the way that you said it to me, or at least the way I understood it. There are persons in our spiritual culture that are very exalted. And by hearing about and studying the lives of those very exalted persons, it can lift us to be, just by hearing about them, meditating upon them, trying to understand them, can lift our character to be like them. And they're heroes, so heroes help us become better persons. You did, that's not the way you explained it, but that's how I take. So, one of those persons, the personality, the hero for this month is Narada Muni, and especially for our newer guests, whenever you see somebody carrying an instrument like that, a veena, and having a saffron-colored dhoti like that, right away you know it's Narada Muni. Just right away you know that's Narada Muni. Because Narada Muni tells his story of who he was before he was Narada Muni to the one who wrote the Vedas down. The Vedas are the ancient texts that hold all the truths about transcendental life and even worldly life done properly. Theistic, the codes of theistic conduct, it's within the Vedas. His teacher was Narada Muni. So Narada Muni explained how he became Narada Muni from his previous life, which is a whole chapter long description. But he was, in short, he was an obscure nobody. He was an orphan, didn't know who his father was. He knew who his mother was, and she was very poor. And her means to maintain herself was she took care of people who stayed at an inn or a dharmshala, a place where holy people, when they go on pilgrimage, may stay. And she just took care of their needs. And so he was a little boy assisting his mom. And during one period of time, the 4 months of the rainy season, there were very elevated holy men that stayed at that inn. So a little boy, he was given the opportunity to take care of little things. Bring their meals, little errands little boys can do, take care of their clothing, give it to his mom. So she just did little boy services. But he got to hear their discussions, and he became very attracted. And they saw very gentle-natured little boy, very calm, very peaceful, very eager to learn. And so they gave more teachings and more teachings, and they taught him a process that was to stay with him for the rest of his life. Teachings about the eternal self, teachings of mantra meditation, and a whole process that would allow him to reach perfection in his life. And they left. His mother died sometime after that. She was going to the well to get some water, and she was bit by a serpent, and she died. So here's this little boy. No mother, no father, no shelter, no wealth, nothing, no education. But he just took it as some arrangement of providence, and he left. And goes on. He lived his life that way, but some time later, when he's still small, one evening, when at the end of the day he was beneath a tree and doing his meditation and chanting his mantra, and within his heart, the form of Vishnu appeared. And he was startled. And then suddenly that form of Vishnu disappeared, and he looked around. Where did he go? That's not where he went. And then he heard a voice. Lord Vishnu's rumbling like the clouds in a storm, saying, "You will not see me again for the rest of your life, but please continue in this way and you will achieve the perfection of life at the end of this life." And he did. At the end of his life, the soul left the body, as it does at the time of death, and his spiritual form became manifest, and that form that you see pictured here, by some higher arrangement, entered into the body of Mahavishnu at the end of the day of Brahma, the next morning of Brahma. He appeared as the son of Brahma, directly born from him. No mother necessary, he just appeared. And for this whole day of Brahma, which is a really long time, he travels playing upon his veena, singing names of Krishna, and finding ways to give a life of devotion to people who have forgotten Krishna. So two of those circumstances involve animals. That's our filmmaker's interest. So this is a description found in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which Lord Chaitanya is narrating, and it's a common story about a hunter who became a saint. And the narration goes that Narada Muni, who can travel anywhere, he doesn't need a visa, a passport, or a 747, he just plays his veena and desires, and off he goes. Doesn't need a spacesuit, he's a transcendental spaceman without an oxygen supply. It's just he's on another plane of existence, a mystical plane of existence. That's Narada Muni. So he went, after visiting in Vaikuntha, because he can go all the way to the spiritual world, he came to this world, and specifically he went to Prayag. For those that are not from India, Prayag is a holy place in India where there's a confluence of 3 sacred rivers. So he went there to take sacred bath in Prayag. And as he was heading for the rivers, he saw a scene that was very disturbing. He saw on a path in the forest a deer that had been shot in the leg and was flapping and making a loud crying sound. Pain. And he walked further down the path, and he saw a forest wild boar, similarly shot with an arrow, but not dead, but screaming, wailing, making whatever sounds boars make when they're hurt. And then further, he saw a rabbit in a similar condition. So he became troubled seeing that condition of those 3 animals. And then in a distance he saw a hunter with his arrows hiding behind a tree. And so he went right out into the clearing, and as he went into the clearing, the animals that were in the forest saw Narada coming and they ran away. So the hunter came from behind the tree where he was hiding, and he wasn't a cultured person. He was ready to say four-letter words and bad things to Narada. But being in the presence of Narada, he couldn't. Just feeling his saintly presence, he couldn't say bad things to him or about him or raise his voice or anything. But he asked Narada, what are you doing so far away from civilization? This is deep in the forest. What has brought you here? And Narada said, well, I'll explain that, but first, can I ask you a question? Yeah. If you like a gift, I can give you a gift. You're a saintly person. I have tiger skins and deer skins and you name it, skins. I got so many skins. Can I give you some skins of animals? Narada said, I don't need skins of animals, but could you explain to me why you are half killing the animals like this? And he said, that's what my father taught me. I learned to be a hunter from my father, and my father found pleasure in half killing the animals that he eventually was going to take the skins of and make his livelihood. And so I do it because I learned it from my father, and I derive pleasure seeing them flapping and crying, and it gives me pleasure. And Narada said, can I make a request of you? That instead of half killing, kill completely, because it was too much to ask the man to stop killing. He's a hunter. So he killed them entirely. He said, why? Why are you asking that? He said, because they suffer. And when you cause suffering for others, even in the animal form, when you cause suffering for others, that suffering is going to come back to you. That boar and that deer and that rabbit, when they die, in their next life, they'll come back and have the opportunity to do the same to you, half kill you, and then you're dead. He'd never heard anything like that. Dad didn't tell him. But being in the presence of Narada, he just accepted that it's true. So I'll have to experience the same pain and suffering that they're experiencing. What can I do to relieve myself from that suffering condition? Because I half killed and then killed so many. Narada said, I can give you the answer so you can become completely free from suffering, but there's one condition. What's that? First, you have to break your bow. He looked at his bow and looked at Narada, looked at the suffering animals. He believed Narada because Narada is very powerful, spiritually powerful. So he broke his bow. Then to help restore the faith or further the faith, because he asked for this demonstration of commitment and faith, Narada went to the animals and the animals became freed from the arrows and they ran away free. Half dead, they were now restored back. And the hunter was, wow, he's a powerful, saintly person, indeed. So if I break my bow, he was arguing, then I won't have a way to maintain myself and my family. Narada said, don't worry, I'll make all arrangements. Now, he's not a shopkeeper that has a big storeroom in the back and he can take care of things that the family's needs require. But he's a great devotee of Krishna, and he knew how to bring the heart of the hunter to a much better position, to a pure position. So he said, I'll make all arrangements. Everything that you need and more will be there. Take all of your accumulated wealth from selling the skins of dead animals. Take that accumulated wealth, give it in charity to qualified brahmanas and priests and saintly people. Move from the forest, go live by the side of the sacred river, because that's where he was, by Prayag, and build a little cottage where you and your wife can reside. And before the cottage, place a tulsi. For those of you that are not familiar with this culture, tulsi is a sacred, worshipable object, a plant that saintly people derive inspiration from and devotion from. So place a tulsi before the cottage and just engage yourself in chanting of the holy name, holy names of God. Do that. And everything that you require will come. Yoga kshema vahamyaham. He didn't quote the Bhagavad Gita verse, but that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham satata yuktanam yoga kshema vahamyaham. Tesham yatata yuktanam Tesham nitya viyuktanam. Say the whole thing. There we go. Thank you. I got mixed. Two verses blended into one. Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yoga kshema vahamyaham. Which means, unto those who are engaged in undivided devotion, I, Krishna says, carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So that's what happened. He went, he followed Narada's instructions. And the people in the Prayag area heard how this violent, cruel hunter, half-killer of animals hunter, had become a saintly person. So they came to visit him and pay their respects to the saintly person. That probably wouldn't work in America because culture is different. But in Prayag it resulted in people coming to pay their respects. And when they came to pay their respects, they brought something. And it more than met the needs of his family. They had to give in charity some items because it was more than what they required. So after some time, Narada returned to visit Magari and his wife. And when he came with his friend Parvat Muni. Narada Muni has some other Muni friends, some great sages that travel with him sometimes. And when he came to the cottage, off in the distance is the cottage with the tulsi plant in front, Magari saw Narada coming. And so he hurriedly ran to greet Narada Muni. But, as happens sometimes on paths in remote places, there's lots of ants on the path. So he couldn't run and step on the ants, so he took his upper garment and moved his upper garment in such a way the ants wouldn't be stepped on as he moved forward, getting down on his knees. So Parvat Muni turned to Narada Muni and said, just see, this person who before was just the opposite, now doesn't even want to harm an ant. Narada, you're very powerful. And Narada's reply is, it's the power of bhakti. Because bhakti has the power of freeing the heart from such tendencies. Now this is a specific example of Narada's activities in relation to animals, or in relation to a hunter, a killer of animals. And then there's another narration that's similarly, it's not in the Bhagavatam, but it's a similar narration where Narada Muni one time was traveling, playing upon his veena as he does, and he came across a very sorrowful situation. And that sorrowful situation was there was a cobra who was attacking even people unprovoked, because cobras don't need to be provoked. Just come near them and anything could happen. So Narada saw a cobra who was ready to, a 5-headed cobra, ready to strike. And he encouraged the cobra. Somehow he could speak cobra language or something. And said to the cobra, don't bite unnecessarily, because this comes from envy. So give up your envy. Don't strike others with your hoods and cause them a problem. So Narada is very powerful, and the cobra accepted the teaching. But as time passed, the children in the village, they came to learn the cobra isn't going to strike. So they started to taunt the cobra. You know, children will sometimes do things like that. So they had sticks, and they threw stones, and they were taunting and not treating the cobra nicely. So Narada came by one day, and the cobra expressed frustration. I'm following your instruction, but the children are taking advantage of your instruction and they're tormenting me. And Narada said, if you show your hoods, don't strike, but show your hoods that the children won't bother you. Now, the context of this story was in Sridham Mayapur. Prabhupada told the story where some of you are newer. So Mayapur is a place in India where Lord Chaitanya appeared, and it's off, it's in a Muslim area today, currently, historically, today. But it's the place where Lord Chaitanya appeared. And so Prabhupada had some land purchased and built a temple, and in the temple there were deities, brass deities of Radha Madhava. About this big, brass deities on an altar. And the local village people thought they're made of gold. So they came in the dead of night with guns to steal the deities, thinking we'll sell the deities made of gold and we'll be rich. So fortunately some devotees woke up and they made a whole lot of noise. The deities were stolen, Radha Madhava were stolen, but not everything was stolen, so they ran. And then Prabhupada told the story. He said, get guns and periodically fire them into the sky. And so people will be like the cobra showing his hoods. You're not trying to hurt anybody, but the dacoits will stay away. And he told the story in that connection. So we're not to be pacifists, but we don't go out of our way to cause pain and suffering to others either. But in this case, with the cobra story, anger or envy or other lower base qualities should be controlled. And for some purpose, and protecting the deities and protecting the devotees, some things may need to be done. Like, you know, we have security cameras and things like that. And sometimes that's useful. Sometimes that's useful. There's more things that can be done. But so we do those things because we're not pacifists. This is Chicago. So we're careful. We lock our doors and we do things that are in the direction of security. We are doing those things in service to Krishna. So the general principle, now it's specific for our photographers here, the view of a Vaishnava, devotee of Krishna, is to regard all living entities with equal vision. Doesn't mean we behave equally with every living entity, but we regard them equally. Vidya vinaya sampane brahmani gavi hastani shuni chaiva swapake cha pandita samadarshana from Bhagavad Gita. We see equally the elephant, the dog eater, the Brahmin. Prabhupada's example, we don't see a tiger and go embrace the tiger. We act appropriately with the tiger and then with, the puppy dog or the human being. Appropriate behavior, but respect for the life of all living entities. And it's a quality, it's a behavior that's appropriate for a Vaishnava. So when Narada came and saw the animals suffering, I don't know what I would have done. I really doubt I would have said, can you please kill them completely? Probably would have stayed out of the way of the hunter's arrows. Maybe he's a mean-spirited person. Who knows what hunters will do. But Narada, by his infinite wisdom, understood how to have this man give up his bad conditioning. He just learned it from his father, like many of the values that we have, we learn from somebody. And how to unlearn those values, it's kind of difficult if it's a detrimental value. So not respecting the lives of others, specific in this case, even forest animals. Deer don't harm people and rabbits don't harm people. Maybe irritated boars might, but we don't. So we respect life, and that's a human responsibility. Respecting life, protecting life of others. We don't exploit the life of others, certainly not for pleasures. The pleasure of seeing a living entity suffer. That's not, but it goes on, or just ignoring it and not paying any attention to it. It's another dullness. So that's not an advocacy of Vedic culture. Narada, now back to the theme, here's an example of a great saint, not just saint, he is a superlative personality of all persons since the beginning of time. Very, very special person. He's one of these living entities. In the Sanskrit language, Chiran Jiva means he lives for a long time. Not a normal lifespan. He lived for a long time. And his function, his service to Krishna, is giving devotion to Krishna in very unique ways, even to a hunter. And so he travels, playing upon his veena, wherever he likes to go. And somehow, by the inspiration of the Lord in the heart, he knows where to go, and he knows what to say, and he knows how to help people become free from their material situation and become more spiritually inclined or oriented. Sometimes it takes steps, but he has that power. Very, very, very qualified, Narada Muni. So he's the hero for this month. Yes? January. So that's my topic, a short class for this evening. Big relief for everybody. So, any questions? Oh, you over there, can you see the screen? Yeah? Okay, great. Yes? He's got it. He's got it.
So both Narada Muni and Lord Shiva.
Narada Muni and
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva.
They both are great devotees of Krishna.
They are.
And I read in Srimad Bhagavatam that their intelligence is being guided by the Supreme Lord itself.
Yes.
So I want to understand what is the difference of mood of Narada Muni and Lord Shiva towards Lord Sri Krishna.
Towards what?
Towards the Lord, Supreme Lord. Is there any difference of the mood what Shiva carries towards Krishna and Narada Muni carries towards Krishna?
Well, of course. I mean, we're all individual. And amongst individuals, Lord Shiva is a unique individual in that he's not even a living entity. There's Jiva, and that's Jiva Tattva, that's us, and Narada, and Brahma. That's a certain category of entity, and Lord Shiva is in another category of his own, Shiva Tattva. So that's not what your question is, but his mood toward or regard for the personality of Godhead has to do with his function, and his function has to do with overseeing one of the principal modes of nature, and that's his service. And so, and he gives mercy in all kinds of different ways, and he gives mercy even to like people who only want something that's not even wholesome for themselves. Narada doesn't do that. He doesn't give something that's unwholesome to somebody. But because they have a different service. So their orientation of service has to do with that relationship. So Narada's service is he carries the fullness of Krishna's devotional potency, bhakti shakti. He carries it and he delivers it. And bhakti doesn't gift to others something that's unwholesome for them. It rather receives from them that unwholesome thing and gives them instead the replacement of a pure desire, a pure hankering, a pure aspiration. That's a function that Narada does, having to do with his relationship. And Lord Shiva, a classic example is Vrikasura. You probably have heard that narration. He was a mode of ignorance person. So he underwent really severe austerities to please Lord Shiva. And one of the ways that he was trying to please Lord Shiva is he underwent great austerities for a long time and then took a knife and was cutting off pieces of his flesh and throwing the flesh into the fire as a sacrifice to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva appeared and said, "You don't have to do that. I'm easily pleased. So what is it you want?" And he wanted something that was abominable. "I want the benediction that whoever's head I touch, their head will break into 7 pieces." So he got that benediction from Lord Shiva. Narada wouldn't give such a benediction. And then he wanted to test it out. So he wanted to touch the head of Lord Shiva and see if his head would break into 7 pieces. Because he was a word of ignorance person. He was nearby, so let me try it out. Anyway.
I understood, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah. In the back.
Thank you, Maharaj. Narada Muni could stop hunter that enjoyed having animals in agony, and nowadays animals die in agony by billions a year.
They die by the zillions.
Gazillions a year.
Gazillions, okay.
Yeah. How do we carry on his legacy or his inspiration in order to be heroes, not of the same caliber by all means of sanctity, but to help the animals not to suffer what they suffered in the past or now?
Well, this is the interest of our photographers here, I think. It's one of them, one of the principal ones that's inspiring them, and they're wanting to get the views that people in this world have about that topic and related topic, the friendly kind too, relationships. So, I'm going to give a Srimad Bhagavatam answer that may not satisfy our photographers, but it satisfies me. And that is, what's the root cause of such things? Because if you don't address the root cause of such things, then you may clip the weed by one measure or another, but the weed is going to continue to grow if the root is still there. So what's the root cause of gun violence? What's the root cause of abuse? Sexual abuse and child abuse and spousal abuse and animal abuse and abuse of nature. What's behind it? Because you can try to make laws or causes or movements or social activism, political activism, but if you don't address the root cause, the symptom may be checked to some degree, but it's going to come out some other way because the root is still there. So what's the root? And the Bhagavatam teaches that when the living entity turns their bahir mukha jiv, when the living entity turns the attention away from, let's say, light, there's darkness. And so my real happiness is connection with that source of everything, And living entities, they're part of that source of everything. And therefore I should respect them because they're just like me. They're from that, we're brothers. Although their species may be different, I respect them. If one can't come to that, not just like say it, but enter into that consciousness, darkness is going to manifest itself in some other way. Those living entities are objects for my enjoyment. The world is an object for my enjoyment. My children, little boys, little girls, for pedophiles, they're object for my enjoyment. They're just, the object of enjoyment consciousness has to be addressed. Otherwise, it's going to come out in some other way. It doesn't mean there shouldn't be laws and shouldn't be causes, but the root cause has to be addressed. So that is awakening the consciousness of our connection with the source of everything. And whatever that is, that can help reawaken the dormant consciousness of our connection with the source of everything, that's the root cure. If one focuses on watering the cure root, then the desirable creeper will grow, and one can more readily identify the creeper that's the product of darkness or ignorance. Light is stronger than darkness. So propagating light, you can be an instrument of that. You're just a little fellow. Me too. But we can propagate light. Huh? Light has no opposite? Well, when there's light, darkness can't stand. So that's what I think I want to do, and I think it's what you want to do. And it doesn't mean we're unaware of travesty or transgression of, civil behavior, or whatever you want to call it. But we want to address the root. And when you address the root, we can point out this is uncivilized. That's what Narada did. You're going to suffer. Now, because he was a qualified person, simply his saying it, this uncivilized person felt, wow, my heart is moved by his words. So that's something that you and I can do, try to become qualified. We're not there yet, but we can try to become qualified so that when the heart is pure, with purity is the force. The words carry greater power, potency, force. That's something we can do. And abide by the truth. Live by the truth. Live by light. By our words and by our very lives. That's a nice solution to the root of the problem. And supposing there's a group of other people that say, I'm with you, brother. Let's go for the light. And we have a clear sense of what the light is, the light of the Bhagavat. And it's heart transforming. That's so. And the principles aren't this ism versus that ism kind of principles. They're principles that are inherent in the hearts of all living entities, regardless of their isms. So we just shine the light and it goes, yeah, that's much better than darkness. Live it and teach it. A response. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Just see, you just go like that and the microphone shows in your hand. You're a magician. Go ahead.
With the response that you just gave, just more from, let's say, like a communications or, I guess, public relations perspective.
A public relations perspective.
So when people inquire, for instance, our position on topics like this, and we give answers like this, like we have a clear understanding of this process that we're engaged in, why we're approaching it in a certain way.
Yes.
But it could be misunderstood or misconstrued as
Sure.
a certain callousness.
Sure.
So how should we, I guess, respond to that, given that we
It
have sort of
depends
a
on
background?
who you're speaking to, how you would deal with a possibility like that. I tested when I said this is something that they resonate with, she was going, this is something we resonate with. And the little preamble is they may not be so comfortable with my answer. So I'm being honest. But they may talk with each other later, oh, these people, they're silly or something, or they're, something. I don't know what they're going to think. But I have to speak what my conviction is. So a cause is fine, but it's inadequate. Social activism and political activism goes on in the world, but it's inadequate unless it's grounded in light. That's a conviction that I have. I have to speak it. And so, let the chips fall where they may. They may think, oh, you people are cop-outs, or whatever it is. You're not doing the real work. But the real work is the deeper work. It's the root of the problem work.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much. When we are looking at the qualities of Narad Muni as a hero, other than the quality of him being very compassionate to the living entities, I think one is also that's related to his dispelling the confusion of Vyasadeva.
His dispelling of the confusion of the Vyasadeva is another compassion.
Yes, yes. So if you can enlighten more on that, because that also is a very inspiring story of Narad Muni as a hero.
Well, I don't know. Yasoda Nandana. Subal, can I have his ear for a moment? Yasoda Nandana. I don't want to take away from what other people are going to be doing in the upcoming weeks. So I'm being asked a question about Narada's compassion about animals. What about Narada's compassion with relieving the confusion of his student, Vyasa? Huh? Should I say, stay tuned for the next class when that's the topic? Or should I respond to it? I'm looking for you to monitor my response. Keep going. Okay. I want to respect your service of being the MC here. So, I'm not, just hang on. Okay, so, when Narada came to visit his student, Vyasa, or disciple, Vyasa, he knew already because he's Narada. But he inquired, Vyasa, you don't look so good. You look disturbed. What's the reason? Was it this or that or the other thing or the other thing? I mean, he knew. But he's asking, just like, so Vyasa said, I don't know, but I think you know, so can you tell me why I'm disturbed? And then he gave him the answer. And the answer is similar to the answer I gave to Yasodhanandana, who now is walking back in the room. And that is, what you did was fine, but it wasn't at the root. You've given teachings that are truth, but an inordinate emphasis on something that's not the root of all truths. The root of all truths is that which is the source of everything, and you haven't sufficiently focused on that. You focused on procedures for people to, through theistic conduct, achieve desirable things of this world by this ritual, that procedure, and this, the karmakanda thing. But people already have a tendency to be enjoyers, and now they think, hey, it's authorized. Vyasa said it's authorized. Here we go. And they're going to miss the root of the real purpose of this human life. So focus on the real purpose of the human life. So he gave an instruction to him how to do that, and empowered him to then compose that or expand that section of what he had written that just does that focus. So it's different but quite similar in principle. Our lives should be, when there's proper alignment of our life, we're certainly concerned with suffering that's out there, and it can be suffering of his student, or suffering of the animals, or suffering of a king, or suffering of the people that are subjects of the king, or the very nature of this material existence is it has its fair amount of suffering. It's just by its nature. So what's the option? Why is there material existence? Is there an option to material existence? So to be able to deliver that in a qualified way, that's real compassion, not just relieve the suffering to some degree. Yes. Yes. Yes, you got it. I'm trying to avoid the God word, but you came out with it, so here we go. I'm accustomed to speaking in audiences where you're careful with the God word, but so I'm using light and other things. But yeah, the source of all existence. We have a connection, and forgetting that we suffer. And others over there and others over there. Their behaviors are the byproduct of that root cause. So it's just like, I was on a path of medical career before I met devotees. So a lot of what Western medicine is, there's a symptom and you treat the symptom. But, the root problem is still there. So you have to get rid of the root problem, not just reduce or mitigate the symptom. I know somebody whose medical profession is pain management. When people get to the point where they try this and that and the pain is still there, his thing is to help people manage the pain. But what's life like when you don't have pain? What's life like when you don't have material existence? That's spiritual existence. And when you have full spiritual existence, the animal cruelty, the gun violence, and Donald Trump problems are solved. Excuse me. Yes.
The cobra. When we get into situations where we might be just needed to show our hoods, not exactly bite, but how do we safeguard ourselves in terms of having the internal mood of not getting into the space of biting, but really.
Well, somebody shared with me recently, and I don't know if it was a compliment or they were disturbed. But they were remembering one of our exchanges long ago, and they asked this very carefully composed question like yours. And my answer was like a very short sentence: there's no substitute for purity. And, you know, they thought, I don't know exactly how they took it. Like, hey, that was a cool answer. Or, you know, you really didn't answer my question. You just like put up a wall. So we can try to manage ourselves to get to purity, but you have to get to purity. Otherwise, you're in the pain management space. So if you're striving for purity, or using the other language, striving for light or connecting with God, if that's the objective, it makes it much easier. You have strength to navigate the territory that you're speaking about. Spiritual strength and spiritual intelligence. Both. Buddhi, intelligence, and bala, strength. Don't have that goal, you won't have either, you know, strong intelligence and strong spiritual strength. You know, determination, dridha vrata. I'm this little person way over here, and there's this goal that's way up there. I know there is the opportunity for me to come to the place of purity, to come to the place of light, to come to the place of connection with the source of everything. I'm being invited there. The problem is not the invitation isn't been extended. It's, there's this, the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, in the biblical statement. That is, like, I'm attached to the temporary. That's the problem. So striving for purity, that's where it begins. Then it'll help you. Then you'll have intelligence what steps to take. So each of us are at a different place in our trajectory of spiritual wellness, or the opposite, spiritual malady, illness. So according to each, and for every one of us, there's the sine curve. Is sometimes, and sometimes. Sometimes. She'd asked a question, she'd just have to be a little patient, and we're done shortly. Okay, thanks. So you're an introspective person, so you know where your strengths and where your weaknesses are, and you operate from that place, but make sure you're headed for the light, or headed for the goal, purity of heart, where anya abhilash shunyam, or the desires are simply for the pleasure of Krishna. Anukolyena Krishnanushilanam. Krishna should be pleased. I want to get there. That's a wholesome place where I want to be. You just keep going towards the light, and you'll get there. Krishna will help you. So you manage according to your position. I don't know if that's satisfying. Okay. Okay, this is more questions that normally come on Sunday. Maybe because I spoke less. Anything else, or we're finished here? Okay, so one last? Okay.
I just wanted to comment on what you had said about the root, addressing the root of the problem versus the symptoms.
Yeah.
And And I can attest for myself that after practicing even for a short period of time, or having met the devotees even for a short period of time, my entire attitude about how I viewed the world completely changed. So I was talking to one of my best friends, and she asked me, like, how does it really help you? Like, why are you into this? And my answer was, externally I might seem to be the same person, but internally my attitude has completely changed. So I really want to serve others versus expecting things from others. So I just wanted to make that comment because that's how I felt in my own life.
You sound like me. Little story, and then I'm going to end. I'm moving the microphone stand so we can see one another. It's eye contact. When I became a devotee, my family members were wondering. And after I had stayed with being a devotee for some time, they didn't tell me, but they come with a family of 5 children. I was the little one. And my sister, that was the closest in age to me, she was sent by the others to go check me out. She didn't tell me, she told me at the end. She came to where I was, having a retreat in Gita Nagari, and without all the details. You know, there was like an hour and a half conversation. And her conclusion was, you're the same person. You've always been idealistic, and you lived according to those ideals that you held, and those ideals that you hold, you're living. And she didn't add the part that you add, the orientation of those goals are now, centered on serving others. Although that's how I was when I was younger too. But it's now serving others is serving at the root. That is the root of all existence, or God, that every living entity is Krishna's part and parcel. And so serving other living entities is incomplete without service to Krishna. Giving care to animals instead of exploiting them is incomplete without doing that as a service to Krishna, etc., etc., etc. So the inside is different, but all she could see is the outside. You're an idealistic person. You've always been. You haven't really been really big on writing letters to the family members. That's okay. That's pretty consistent too. You're the same. But the deeper inside is what she didn't have the lens to see it. And I didn't try to, shake her, wake her or something. If I had a sense that she wanted to hear it, I would have. But I had a sense she didn't want to hear it. Just wanted, are you all right? I'm all right. Okay. So, I'm going to show a little video. And the video is a promotional video of a visit to Jagannath Puri. And some of you are new here, and you may not know what or where Jagannath Puri is. It's a place in India where it's a holy place, and a group of us went on pilgrimage to that holy place. And the video promotion piece will show you, and this is the right one. This is what Prahlad did. He took version 1 and made version 2, and it's nice. Describing what's in that video. Whoops.
Just lying, facing your feet in this holy place, one has fulfilled or achieved the benefit of visiting all the holy places in all of existence. If someone even takes one breath, go ahead. In Purushottam, etc., he will attain the results of an entire Ashwamedha Yajna. Keep breathing, Prabhus. Keep taking steps. It's a very sacred place.
天地虽宽，这条路却难走。我看遍这人间坎坷辛苦。
When chanting japa, Hare Krishna, for me, the thought of Krishna, the person Krishna was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as we were hearing the pastimes throughout the yatra, it was very meaningful.
The song Romapada pastime was something that touched me a lot this time. I've heard the pastime many times. Thank you very much. And also, because by your association, we get a lot of benefit.
The whole international travel and everything was so worth it just for this one day that I got to spend here. It was like incredible. So if anyone ever has like the opportunity to come even for a day, like I would so recommend it.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki.
That's it. So everybody knows what's next, but you can tell them in case they're visitors. If you're interested in one of these yatra video presentations, I have a bag. I can give you one here. And is Vibhu Chaitanya still here? You can see him if you want to make a donation, and he'll help you out. Go ahead. Oh.
Thank you very much for the beautiful class. Just a request for everybody. If you would like to have dinner, it is served upstairs if you're not familiar, out these double doors and at the top of the staircase. And the request is to please eat your dinner as quickly as possible because there's a fantastic lineup of those that will lead kirtan this evening. So please take advantage of the full Sunday feast experience because the kirtans especially are a very sweet way to cap off a weekend together. So just a request to please take advantage of that. And then if you are here for the very first time, we also have a special gift for you. So please don't leave without that. Hare Krishna.
About this video,
No. Start singing that. Because my sister's late. You're ever that late.
Someone's gonna.
Should I go slow? Okay. Because I'm not doing that. It's just, Mama. You can just do it. You know it.
I know.
Not me.
I want you to go first so bad.
No, are you gonna sing? What? Are you gonna sing Mama?
Play the mridangam softly, okay? Maharaj is there. Please play the.
Am I supposed to sing Namo Vishnu?
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvishesha Samyavadi Pasatya Dasatarini Saraswati Devi Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Sakura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sakura Hari Bol, Sakura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sakura Hari Bol.
Why is it always fading? No. I think it's fading. Yeah.
So, what happened? Where is everybody else? Where is the dad? Oh. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarini Bhaj Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasa Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya, Kishore Kishori Jaya, Kishore Kishori Jaya, Kishore Kishori. Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya, Kishore Kishori Jaya, Kishore Kishori Jaya, Kishore Kishori. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Om Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Shri Kishore Kishori ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhav ki jai.
Do you have the fisherman film? You have fisherman film?
Sorry?
Fisherman film.
Yeah.
Huh?
They also kept for you, but I think Rati Prabhu also. Oh?
Upa. Okay? This is okay? This is okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Mic is dying, I think, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. So let's switch it.
It's low.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे नाम हरिर्नामैव केवलम् कलो नास्तेव नास्तेव गतिरन्यथा। Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga Jaya. Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Sacinandana, Jaya Sacinandana. Jaya Sacinandana Gaura Hare. Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Gaura Hare Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि वो हरि वो हरि वो गौर हरि वो निताय गौर हरे बोल हरे बोल हरे बोल गौर हरे बोल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री श्री श्रील प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेमानंद